meeting. This is May 13th, 2021 at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. All present. Mary Beth McGrath, Department of Municipal Licenses Inspections Director. Nurse Juliana Melchionda, Clerk. Dr. Philip Nettleman, Vice Chairman. Dr. Arthur Brigoli, Chairman. Board of Health meeting agenda, May 13th, 2021, 2 pages. Approval of the meeting minutes, excuse me, from April 15th, 2021, 3 pages. Have we had a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting?
I have looked at them and I would suggest we approve them as read.
Juliana?
I approve.
Okay, so Dr. Nettleman makes a motion and Ms. Melchionda second the motion.
Second the motion, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And just as a reminder, when we're on Zoom meetings, all votes that are taken, we need a roll call. So I'll need a roll call on that. So Dr. Brigoli,
Yes.
Dr. Nettleman,
Yes.
and Ms. Melchionda.
Yes.
Thank you.
List of complaints received from April 12th, 2021 through May 7th, 2021. Mary Beth will discuss.
Yes, thank you. And I know I normally in the past have put together a nice little memo for you. It's just the system is not as easy. This new system is not as easy to get that retrieved for me. So it's easier for me just to speak about it. So we are still receiving COVID related type complaints, face masks, social distancing. So we're still following up on those. But as the spring has hit, we are now seeing normal activity that we would see as we've seen in previous years. People are out and about, so they're noticing more trash. So we're following up on more trash complaints on both commercial and residential properties. We have had some complaints regarding rodent activity, and following up on that, we have had one rooster complaint that there's a rooster out there that we've tracked down, and we have advised the property owner that the roosters are not permitted in Braintree for obvious reasons, and that they need to remove the rooster. So that's being taken care of. But those are the general types of complaints that we're seeing now.
Is the rooster part of the permit that we gave for chickens?
No, we do not. This property owner has, I believe, 4 chickens and a rooster. And we received a complaint through the mayor's office about the rooster doing what roosters do, crowing. And that's what brought us to the property. So the individual has been instructed they need to remove the rooster because it will not be permitted. And if they're looking to keep the chickens, that they need to seek a permit. So they're making their decision as to what they will be doing. And we told them that needs to be on the short term, not long term.
But did they ever get a permit for chickens?
No. They're going to make their decision whether they're keeping the chickens or not.
Okay.
So, if they are going to, we have every expectation that by next month that we'll be bringing this forward to the board.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that was informational only.
Correct.
New business. 1, request for variance of lifeguard provision. A, Reservoir Crossing Condominiums, 614 Pond Street. Variance request, 6 pages, and regulation, 1 page. Mary Beth.
Yes. So this has been, as you know, in the past, the Reservoir Crossing has come before the board since 2010 seeking a variance. So the property itself is a condominium complex. They have 2 very large buildings with residents in each of the buildings. Surprisingly, they have a somewhat small kidney-shaped pool for the size of the complex. And it does get minimal use during the week and obviously more use on the weekends when residents are home. They do have a key-carded gate or door that you have to use to get into the pool enclosure and then again to get out. So they have a system much like other pool establishments that have pools or complexes that have pools have. So that's a tracking system of who is in the pool and when. They're not looking for a full straight out lifeguard variance of the provision. They're looking for a partial as they have in the past. Because of the low bather load usage during the weekdays, they'd like to request a variance of Monday through Friday to not have a lifeguard, and then on weekends and holidays having a lifeguard. The data that you have, as has been seen in previous requests, They do not have 2020 bathing load data because they decided with COVID, they would not open the pool, so they did not. So the data that you have would be for a normal bathing season, which was 2019. Now, again, I mean, there are not only pool regulations, but there are COVID pool requirements that have to be followed. So there's still stringent guidelines with COVID. As things are becoming more relaxed, those are lifting a bit, but the pool requirements are still in effect that they need to make sure they're socially distancing on pool decks. They do not need a face covering while in the pool because, of course, safety reasons involving swimming with the mask on. But when they're on the pool deck and they're not able to socially distance outside, they have to wear face coverings. And there are requirements for the locker rooms, etc. So all of those things still need to be met, even if they do decide to move forward with opening. And Reservoir Crossing, as of right now, is planning to reopen during their pool season. So they're looking for a variance request for the weekends and holidays that they'll have lifeguards, and then during weekdays not have a lifeguard if the board is agreeable to that.
What do you suggest?
Well, based upon the data that they provided from 2019, I don't see that changing very much because the complex size has not changed at all, and the residents within, they may have changed owners of units, but the same numbers of people would be there. So I don't see their bathing load has been consistent pretty much year after year since 2010 for usage.
I make a motion to be approved then.
Juliana, do we have a second?
Oh, sorry, I second that motion.
Ms. Melchiona, do you have any questions around lifeguard variances that I can help with?
Not too much. I've read through these pages for a pretty decent understanding of it.
Right. So not all of the complexes are offered pool variances or lifeguard variances because of the clients that they serve. For example, we have some complexes in Braintree like that serve the residents within those complexes are a lot of children. So I've never endorsed offering a lifeguard variance for those establishments because they serve a lot of children, and you just need a more careful eye, of course, on the pool when there are a lot of children that are participating in it. So those I've never really endorsed. This one where it's largely an adult community and we have such low beta load usage, that's where I would offer a recommendation to support it.
And all in favor? Aye.
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 And I do need a roll call. So Dr. Nettleman,
Yes.
Dr. Bergoli,
Yes.
and Ms. Melchiona.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
B, Devonwood Condominiums, 1A Devon Commons Lane, variance request 2 pages and regulation 1 page. Mary Beth?
Yes, so again, Devonwood is a repeat request for lifeguard variance. And again, their lifeguard is based on previous use in the past that they would like during low bather times. Again, weekends are the biggest opportunity for residents to be able to use the pool because they may be home, etc. So they're not asking for a full-blown variance. They're looking for a partial variance for the weekdays, Monday through Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday, and weekends, they would have lifeguards because, as you can see, based on the 2019 data, again, they did not open last year. Based on the 2019 data, you can see the days that were weekends, the higher numbers, those are Saturdays and Sundays. So.
I move that this be approved also.
Juliana, do you have a second?
Yeah, I second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And roll call, Ms. Melchionda,
Yes.
and Dr. Nettleman,
Yes.
and Dr. Bergoli.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
2, request for variance of setback requirements for well permit. A, excuse me, Eric Anderson, 288 Evergreen Avenue, application and documentation 9 pages plus regulation 2 pages. Mary Beth.
Yes, I believe Mr. Anderson is present, and sir, if you could unmute your mic And if you'd like to offer any presentation to the board, I do have all of your paperwork. So Mr. Anderson is requesting a variance of some setbacks to the well regulations. He would like to install an irrigation well on his property at 288 Evergreen Ave. And if you look in your packet, I give you a large area map showing where his property is in relation to others along Evergreen, which abuts with Alita and on the backside Richard Road. So it kind of gives you a general area description of where he is. And then on the third page in, we've done a site visit, and he's looking for a request of the setback requirements, a variance for setback requirements of 100 feet to the property line. He is not able to make the 100-foot because of what is on the property and the dimensions between property line and structure. It's not that easy to get something into the backyard. So he is looking for a request for a variance of the side yard setback to the property line. The well would be about within 45 feet to the roadway, so would not meet the 100-foot setback. And then the well will be 14.3 feet from the side property line, and then 11 feet from the structure, from the house.
Mary Beth, I was a little bit confused on this. So they're looking to put the well between 288 and 280. Those were the two.
Right, so 280.
It almost looks like it goes behind, but it's actually to the side.
It's on the side. So 280 is the neighboring property, the abutting property. And from the property, the side property line closest to 280 is 14.3 feet.
Okay,
So where Mr. Anderson's property line is on the side, from that side property line to the dwelling at 280, we also measured that. It was 16.3 feet. So you're looking at the distance between the well and that actual structure on 280. The house is 10, oh, it's over 20, like it's over 30 feet,
right.
30.6 feet. And then to Mr. Anderson's house, his actual house, the well location is 11 feet from
Okay.
his side, the side of his house.
So there's no issues with 22 and 30 behind. Those two are on Richard Road, and the one of 296. Those houses, they're fine. There's no
Correct.
issue
Well,
with
they're
that.
further away. The well location will be further away from those
Further away,
properties.
and that meets.
So, right, and all of the direct abutters have been notified, including 280.
And
And
he was the one that wrote the letter?
I've not received any response back in the negative from any of them. And Mr. McDonald, who is the resident of 280 Evergreen Ave, is aware of this request. And I've not heard back from him that he has any objection to it.
Well, there was a letter signed from him,
Yes. Mhm.
right? And he would be the one that would be impacted.
Most impacted, yes.
Okay.
Now, the other thing I always caution, and Mr. Anderson, you probably know this, is the proposed structure would be 11 feet from your house. So certainly I work closely with your well drilling company, if the board approves this, with your well drilling company to make sure that that location does not compromise your structure, because they'll be drilling into the ground.
Correct.
So, I mean, I know the setback is 10 feet, but the board normally puts out a precautionary measure that you really should work with your oil company to make sure there won't be any compromise to your structure or the foundation.
That's correct.
That's between Mr. Anderson and the well people.
Well company, right.
And the well company were out and looked.
Yeah, I know that the well company helped you cite the location based on the access into the property.
I have no further questions.
I move it be approved.
Juliana, do we have a second?
Yeah, I second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And I do need a roll call. So Ms. Melchanda
Yes.
and Dr. Nettleman
Yes.
and Dr. Bergoli.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Right,
Mr. Anderson. So the permit will be prepared tomorrow and forwarded to you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Bye.
Number 2B, Caroline Alpert, 136 King Hill Road, application documentation, 7 pages, regulation, 2 pages. Mary Beth, can I ask you a quick question before we begin on this one?
Sure.
On the application, her name is spelt wrong. Is that an issue?
It is spelled wrong. That's not going to be an issue because if you look on the, well, on our website, it does show that on the online permitting, it does show further down that it is Caroline. We have all the documentation that says it's Caroline.
Only question. Thank you.
We can modify that. So Miss Alpert, and she is on the line. Miss Alpert requesting to install an irrigation well on her property at 136 King Hill Road. The second page of your package shows where the property is in location to the neighboring properties and surrounding streets. So the back abutting street on this project would be Rome Drive, which is just, so Rome and King Hill Road are just off of Pond Street where Bases and Luke's Liquor. It's right at that Granite Street, Pond Street intersection is where King Hill Road is. And if you look on page 3 and 4, there are some property descriptions of where the proposed irrigation well will go. Again, they're looking for a side yard location. There's a bit more room on this property. The proposed irrigation well would, it's not quite exactly dimensionally where it was located on the nice one that's computerized drawing, but on staff's site visit, the proposed well, the setback to the roadway is only 65 feet, or the proposed location would be 65 feet. And to the side yard property line would be around 25 feet and 12 feet from the structure.
Well, once again, the owner has to be knowledgeable that structure construction will be taking place 12 feet from the foundation. And
Correct.
also, what is this building 10 feet in back of the well?
So there is a pool further back. And
Okay,
Miss
that's-
Alpert, can you speak to your property?
Yes, I can. There is a pool in the backyard and there is a shed behind that. And we are looking to put the well in where it would be most appropriate to run in lines into the house where the electrical and all of the utilities are.
So staff has been on site and done the site inspection. We don't see any problem. Again, we always caution that you should work with your well company to make sure that your structure, your home and foundation won't be compromised when the drilling occurs.
Yes, thank you.
Now, and all of the direct abutters have been notified. Ms. Alpert did send them notification through certified mail, and I verified through the USPS tracking that they have been delivered. I have not received response back from any of the neighbors that they have any objection.
Mary Beth,
Yes.
I understand that you cannot drink this water,
Well, it's for irrigation purposes.
right? But can it be used to fill a pool?
Yes.
It can.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Mhm.
A lot of
And
iron in that.
well, and that's where you're doing all of your chemical balancing and so forth. But a lot of individuals that install wells, they're installing them for two purposes: one for pools, and then secondly for lawn care and maintenance of their properties.
Thank
I
you very
always
much.
see that a lot of the rocks become rusty looking, but it's fine. Do we have a motion?
I
Juliana,
move it
would
be
you like-
approved.
Juliana, would you like to second that motion?
I second that motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And roll call vote, Dr. Bergoli,
Yes.
Dr. Nettleman,
Yes.
and Ms. Melchionda.
Yes.
Thank you. So Ms. Alpert will be preparing the permit for you tomorrow and sending it out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck. Any other matters which the chairman did not reasonably anticipate at the time of posting the meeting?
Yeah. The only other thing that I just wanted to mention to you is we do have some annual activities that have been going on. We had our rabies clinic on Saturday for cats and dogs, and we vaccinated 104 animals at Town Hall. We did start the Norfolk County Mosquito Control, did the aerial application in on the third week in April. And the aerial application, Julianne, is, so we work with Norfolk County Mosquito Control on mosquito control for our town, and there were 14 other towns that they service. In the springtime, they use a helicopter to apply larvicide to large wetlands in Braintree to knock down the mosquito larvae in hopes that we don't have a full-blown mosquito season of high activity. And then during the summertime from Memorial Weekend through usually into September, they do ground applications where they have a truck-mounted fogger that goes up, drives up and down the street from dusk until midnight. And every Thursday they do that in Braintree. They have a map that they put out the day before on their website indicating which streets they'll be going up and down. They cannot go on to school properties or daycares or childcare centers because they have what's called an integrated pest management plan that they have to follow, that before any pesticide is applied to a property, the parents and guardians of children have to be notified in advance before that happens. So they stay away from those areas unless there's an emergency situation that they have to seek a waiver. So the ground application will probably be starting that first June, on or around June 1st. And COVID activity, as you have seen from the numbers over the last 4 days, we've had 0 cases, which is great. We're thrilled about that. The state, as you can see, is opening up more things as restrictions are being lifted. Been very busy keeping up with all the changes. There are a lot of sector-specific requirements for establishments that still have to be followed. And one question that just came up today, because the CDC lifted the requirement for people that are post 14 days from their full vaccination series, that they don't have to wear face coverings. But in Massachusetts, the governor still has the face mask order in place. So until the state aligns themselves with that CDC requirement or advisory, the face coverings in Massachusetts indoors, they still apply. But I'm guessing that the state will at some point be looking at that and aligning with the CDC. They normally do.
Mary Beth, what does the positive results come from? These are tests that are done on Braintree residents, no matter where the tests are performed? Or?
So what normally happens is wherever a resident may go to a doctor's office or one of the COVID testing sites, wherever they may go to be COVID tested, those results are sent to whatever lab that agency is using. The lab then uploads the results into the state health department's confidential communicable disease database.
Okay.
And then from there, if a positive case is determined, then that positive case is reported to the local city or town in which the resident lives. And then the health department, that's where we get involved in the case investigation.
Thank you. I've always wondered about that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, Quest is a big lab, and you probably, actually, Dr. Mazzoli, all three of you working with labs in the businesses that you're in. Quest is a very popular lab that's used on the South Shore. I'm not sure about all the other labs, but I know that there are many that submit to the state health department.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And so, and beach testing, Juliana, we do beach testing at Sunset Lake and Smith Beach. It usually starts the 2nd to 3rd week of June, depending upon when the Recreation Department opens their summer waterfront program. We're required to test weekly the bacterial quality of the water in order to allow residents to swim at those locations or not. So that will start probably the 2nd to 3rd week in June, and that will continue throughout the summer during the bathing season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think, I'm sure there's something else, but I can't.
Juliana, would you like to put forth a motion?
I'm good. I put a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Now, I believe that our next meeting is June 17th, and I'm not sure that Ms. Melchiondo will be able to make that meeting.
Ah,
And so I want, if it does go forward, I would need a quorum of both doctors. So, and Julia, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn for you, but I wasn't sure you're going to be available for that meeting.
Yes, I was going to bring that up tonight and say I may or may not be participating in that one.
Now, will we still be doing Zoom meetings?
A decision hasn't been made out of the mayor's office as to
Okay.
what's up with that. If and when that changes, I'll let you know. Do you have a preference?
No, I mean, I'm perfectly comfortable.
Okay.
I like the Zoom.
Well, but it does look like you got a haircut, Dr. Nettleman.
I
I
know,
did.
trim and everything.
I
I'm
can
going
see
to
that.
see my brother Sunday.
Wow.
There you go.
Mary Beth, when are they starting the Saturday mornings at the town hall?
What do you mean,
Yeah.
Saturday?
Saturday mornings, the selling of the fruits and vegetables, et cetera.
Oh, the
Oh,
farmer's
oh.
market, I
The
think
farmer's
it's starting around the second weekend of June.
Oh,
I
I
wow.
don't have the
Wow.
exact, it's probably around the 11th maybe or something, in whatever that second Saturday is, I believe is the date.
And did they have it last year?
They
They
did.
did. They did.
It was modified, but they did have it.
Okay. All right.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye,
Thank you,
guys. Bye-bye.
Stephen.
Bye-bye.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Stephen.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. You're funny. You're really funny with that squeaky. You all right? All right.
No, you didn't make yourself unwelcome. Keep doing that shit. Everyone in the world waits but you. You have to have confidence, so if you're on there, they tell you wait, you gotta wait.
Well, do you understand what the problem was?
Yeah, but it was her problem.
Yeah, well,
It was her problem,
yeah.
and sometimes those problems go on for 20 minutes.
Well, I'm not a customer.
Well, you have to get used to it, otherwise you're a thorn in their side. I mean, she had a glitch last time, you have a glitch this time, I have a glitch 3 out of 4 times. You just have to wait. If that circle works, and you're signed in, there is not doing anything fucking wrong.
What do you have in your meat?
I'm gonna have some green beans, will you have some?
Some what?
Green beans,
Green beans? No, thank you.
what else can I get?
This is fine. The Cokes are
I
fine.
made some green beans somewhere, I can tell you where to put them. Right there. The only vegetable I had is the turn. I'll have to get some more, like peas,
Jeffrey, so.
have your medicine,
Oh.
have your wine.
Put this in my pocket.
I love it. I had a crazy day. I can watch you. You will have
Could I have 2 slices of bread to make a sandwich or a roll or whatever you have?
a roll.
A roll is fine.
She got you that lovely roll of bread, thing of bread, but it was the yeast bread. If you don't use it a couple days,
think I need to put pepper in